Okay, so what I want to do now, I am going to try to make some blend shapes. I have gone in and altered the head. I've actually done a bunch of ZBrush stuff. I went and I made the head again from scratch in ZBrush, and I did some retopo stuff, and it's okay for now. We'll talk about that later. Right now what I care about is just showing you a general blend shapes thing before I get into rigging the body. So, if I go into my hypergraph, and I'll just take a quick look. Don't forget that when I'm looking in the hypergraph, I always display shape, hidden, and underworld nodes. I always find this. Oh, look at all this crap. There's some junk. Oh, that's what I like to do, get rid of my junk. I just like to throw it in the streets. Don't want to be a hoarder. Anyway, if I go in and I take all these pieces here, I'm just going to go ahead and group them. And I'll make sure I delete my history. Alt-Shift-D. Boop. Gone. And there's some other junky stuff here. I suspect that's junk. Usually what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll whoop, 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 grab everything and just whip it around, see if it affects any of the geometry. Did it affect any of this stuff? No. There's my reference images. Got wrap. Got all these silly little groups. Just going to hide my reference layers here. Okay. I should make sure I name everything. Everything should be named. So, like, this should be called shirt and all that stuff. For now, I won't worry about that too much with these pieces. My glassolas. Okay. Whoop. Let's just see. I've got glasses here. I got the last one. Okay, great. Here, I'm just going to go like this and select these pieces. See what I've got. I'm just going to group these. I'll just quickly group them. And I'm just going to break this off and put it over here. I just middle-clicked and dragged it over. That's what I did. That ungroups. So I'm just going to take this stuff. And is this on the layer? Let's just put it on here for now. Add selected object so I can hide it. Okay, cool. And this group, let's just give it a quick name. I'm going to call it base head underscore group. Something like that. Uh-oh. Okay, great. So, we got that. And what the hell's this? What have I got? I got cubes. Oh. I've got some extra stuff that's on here, so I'm just going to go into one of these layers. Which one is it on? It's on this one. Right-click, and let's just delete that layer, and then we don't have to worry about it. And let's make sure we name that. Those are my cheesy upper teeth. I'm going to make some better teeth. I want to make real John Oliver teeth. Everybody should have John Oliver teeth. Just go teeth underscore upper. Okay, great. And then these are teeth lower. Boop, 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 boop. There. And what have I got? There's a tongue. Okay, great. And I just realized I've got something that's just making... Okay, great. Let's just do that. And then what's this thing? John Oliver 2. This is a head. Okay, and I've got two eyeballs. These eyeballs, we don't really need them in the group. I'm just going to put them over here for now. Great. And maybe I should call that eyes. Again, it's really great when things are named. Your life's going to be a bit better. You'll have better friends. Lies. You'll always have some kind of secret complaint about your friends. Anyway, I'm just going to take this, and let's see, I was playing around with Go Z here, so I'm just going to go and find my custom buttons. Okay, great. Delete the history, freeze the transforms. There's still a little piece of junk on this one here. Sometimes you can just delete them, but I'm going to try something different in a second. I'm just going to grab the base group, and I might take a look. I think I noticed the teeth were off here, and the head. They might have some transformation things. I'm just going to go ahead and freeze them right now. This is a good time to freeze before we make the blend shapes. Okay, and I'm also just going to do a quick file, optimize scene size, and I get rid of all the stuff. I always like to get rid of unknown nodes too. And I hit OK, and those little things disappeared. Strangely enough, they're gone. Okay, so... Actually, maybe this isn't the best album to have on in the background. There's too much swearing. Everyone's going to go crazy with all the swearing. Let's go and put on something with less swearing. Okay, good. There, I need something in the background that's more pleasant right now. Maybe something a bit more aggressive later. So, let's hide this stuff. And so, I've got my head. What I typically do, little tricks. Let's just hit 1 so we're not too smooth while I'm doing this. I want to be able to open and close the jaw quite easily. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is my little trick. We're just doing simple blend shapes. Okay, nothing too crazy. Just going to grab a vertex here, and maybe I'll grow my selection. Just hit G a bunch of times. And you got to think about where, when your chin goes down, your mouth opens, how far it affects your skin. I find it goes all the way up into here when you open your mouth. Okay, that stretches just a little bit. So I'm going to keep growing my selection. This is too far down the neck, but I don't care. Okay, I'm just going to keep going up, and I'll say somewhere right around there. And maybe I've got too much up in here. Oops, crap. Let's move this over this way a little bit. Okay. And I just go in and I'll deselect some stuff over here. This is also a good excuse to kind of go to the right view. And you can see I got behind my ear and crap like that. So I'm just going to use my select tool. And I'm going to hold down Control. And I'll deselect a bunch of this stuff. We don't need that selected in here. I don't know if I need this stuff in here potentially. But it's okay. Okay, cool. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip into the animation section where we're going to be doing most of our work here. I'm going to go to create, and I'm going to create a cluster. Okay, okay, there's my cluster. The pivot point for my cluster is kind of in the wrong spot. Here, if I go to the right view, you can see it's down here. This is kind of weird. So if I go and I rotate it, that looks wrong. So if I go in and I move it, I just hold down D, and I can move it. I'll move it somewhere right just in front of the earlobe. I find is a good spot. And you check it out. How does your jaw look? Don't look at it. Don't look at any of this other crap. Just look at the chin. And it seems very jaw-like. Okay, that's good enough for me now. Yeah, I can deal with that. I'll just open the mouth a little bit, and suddenly we've got this. Okay, so the next thing. What are we at? 7 minutes. Okay, I can do this all in one shot. If I go into Edit Deformers, because we got a cluster. Oh, actually, maybe one thing with the cluster. If I just grab my little cluster, sometimes they're hard to select. And just deselect that. You might go into Display, Transform Display, Selection Handles. So whenever you just go over that, it'll select that, and it'll be easier to grab your cluster. Okay, great. Select this mesh, here, the head mesh, and I'm going to go into Edit Deformers. And I'm going to go, I think, Paint Set Membership Tool. We don't actually need to add anything, but if I needed to, I could go in here and add more. Maybe I want to add some in here for some reason. If I hit Cluster Set 1, it kind of gets all weird here. So if I put on the wireframe unshaded, I can kind of see what I'm doing. Maybe down here I'll find that there's under stroke, there's a reflection, and I can go ahead and make my brush bigger. Brush, ha ha ha, big brush. I like painting with a big brush. Anyway, I can go in and add. If I find I've got, I can go up here. Oops, I grabbed too much. If you hold down Control while you're adding, that will subtract. Okay, good. Good enough for now. Okay, good. I always add in a bit extra, and I just paint it out later. That's part of my trick. Actually, if you think about it, when you open your mouth, does that pull your nose? Okay, we don't worry about that. Oh, maybe just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to see what this looks like this time around, and I'll see if I like it. Okay, great. We'll just do something a little bit different. Then, if I go into Edit Deformers, so that was Paint Set Membership Tool. Now I'm going to go over to the Paint Cluster Weights tool. And in here, I can adjust the influence of the cluster. Okay? And I'm going to put on Replace here. I'm just going to reset the tool. Hit the Reset Tool button, Replace, and I'm going to change the value down to 0. And again, I might put on my Stroke. Put on Reflection. I'm going to make it big. The hotkey I'm holding down for this, for changing my brush size, is B. Okay? So I'm just going to go in and hit B. I'm just going to go in and take a lot of these areas and I just remove them. I always find this is my trick, my little technica. I remove stuff, a lot of stuff. Okay, great. There. And that looks pretty good. Maybe right around here. I'm just going to make my brush a bit smaller. Remove, 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 remove. Looks like when I'm trying to brush my dog's teeth here, getting in here. You really want your teeth brushed, right? Yeah. Okay, this is boring music. Okay, good. So we get around here, and then typically what I'll do is I'll flip over to the smooth brush. Okay. You can smooth it, but I usually just hit flood a bunch of times. See how that looks? Okay, it's looking pretty good. And test it out. As you get it flooded and you test it out, grab your cluster. Whoop. Blah, 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 blah. That's not too bad to start off with, and I could spend some time with this. And you'll find it'll look better. So, not sure about right around this area here, but the jawline's holding pretty strong. So let's go back and I'm going to select this, grab this thing. So I can get, I just hit this so I can get my tool again. I'm trying not to hit that freaking thing for my Wacom. With the smooth on, you could smooth it out a bit more, but I'm going to put it back to replace for a second. I always find it's easier if you just take all this stuff out. Get that little, it's almost like you're painting in a sneer. And, okay, let's bring this back a little bit. Oh, damn it. Just remember that if you start hitting undo really fast, you're probably bound to crash. So try not to crash. There. And... Sorry, I was making the growling dog noise when they have their teeth back like that. If I go in, I'll make my brush a bit bigger. You can smooth paint it in yourself if you want to. You can hit flood a bunch of times. I'm just going to paint it in. And maybe I see that this thing isn't looking that good. It looks too soft right in here. I'm just going to go replace value 1. Bring that up so the jaw is nice and solid. Okay. And then I'll go back and I'll hit smooth. And you see I just go up in there just like it's just going to move subtly. Okay. And maybe underneath the neck here, subtly. Okay, without smoothing this area out, so I can kind of leave it solid, and I'll see how I feel about that now. What time are we at? 12 minutes? Okay, great. And now, that's working. Now we got one other little problem here, is the teeth aren't following. Neither is the tongue. The lower teeth and the tongue. The upper teeth stay solid. They don't need to move, so they don't want to be part of this cluster. Okay? So, if I go to Window, Relationship Editors, and I go to Deformer Sets, and there's Cluster 1 set, and I look and there's the... Let's make this bigger. I can see the base head group that I made. If I open it up, you can see the heads attached to this. Okay, cool. I'm going to put the tongue on. Boop, bloop. All you do is you click it, right? Boop. It's part of it. And the lower teeth. Don't hit the head. Whatever you can do, don't hit that because otherwise it's going to screw things up. Anyway, let's just test it out now. There are my lower teeth and my tongue are moving along with this. You might notice that now the upper teeth are getting eaten up by this, and maybe I go, oh crap, I have to go back and paint the weights again. Maybe I'll use Replace Sola with 0. Let's put it to 0. Let's make my brush a bit smaller. Oh, you bastard. Sometimes when you hold down B and miss and it ends up doing some stuff you don't want to do. And it looks like I probably should have moved my teeth too. They look like they might be too far forward. I kind of really want to do a good job on this one here. And maybe I'll put that back, the value back up. And I'll grab the inside of the mouth here around where the teeth are. And let's put that up really high. I'm going to put it back to smooth. And I'll look and I'll see all this stuff that's looking all snotty. Getting snotty geometry. There we go. That looks pretty good. And if I grab my rotate tool, and maybe I'll just turn wireframe unshaded off just to kind of see how does it look on just the mesh. Okay, that's not too bad. And really all I'm using this cluster for is just to quickly put my jaw into different positions for making blend shapes. And you can do anything you want. Okay, great. And if you just kind of, I put all the rotations back to 0, that's your default position. So that was the first step of how I like to set up my blend shapes. I'm going to stop here!